And we begin at 6 with our Call 6 Investigates team digging for answers for you about Carrier's decision to move 1,400 jobs from Indianapolis to Mexico.
We've seen the thousands of comments to us angry over that decision, and now more questions boiling over. Like, will any of the workers here have a chance at those jobs, or would they even be able to move there? Call 6 Investigates Rafael Sanchez is in Monterey looking at that question.
I'm Rafael Sanchez in Monterey, Mexico, working every possible angle here in Monterey to get answers for you as to why Carrier is leaving Indianapolis in 2017. Just a few moments ago, we were kicked out of this building. We had a meeting set up with the Secretary for Foreign Development. We had emailed, we had called, they invited us in. When we began to ask about Carrier, they asked us to leave, and we did leave. We're also waiting to hear from the company, Carrier, to see if they will allow job transfers from Indianapolis to Monterey. One local family here says that is not a good idea.
There are many parks here, probably every block away.
Eric Ortegon and Melissa Flores live in a modest neighborhood in Monterey. Before our interview, they wanted to check in on their one-year-old at daycare.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
They both work. They know their city and its costs involving education and medical care. Most middle-class families pay out of pocket for those things, though the government offers assistance for public schools and hospitals.
It's not the best hospital, but they have free hospitals. It's not the best school, but they have free schools.
The couple has some straight talk for those who are considering a job transfer to the Carrier plants in Monterey.
I want a house like yours. I want cable. I want to send my kids to a good school. I want what I have in Indianapolis. I want the best for my family. I want the best for my kids. Can I move here right now with the salary that Carrier is offering its workers and be okay?
Not at all. Not at all. Honestly speaking.
That is the insight from one family. And of course, we'll continue to ask questions no matter where the story takes us. We'll try one more time to talk to the officials behind me in this building to see if they have any answers on Carrier. But let's talk about finances. For the family you just met, they spend more than $1,000 a month on education and on rent. Let's consider what a Carrier worker will make here in Monterey if they work those 40 hours. If they make $3 an hour, they would only get $480 a month, not enough to cover this. And that, of course, is a problem. In Monterey, Mexico, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
And we have more details now on that pay difference between here and Mexico for Carrier workers. As we've been telling you from the day of the announcement, the union quotes Carrier numbers saying the cost for salary and benefits for an employee in Indianapolis is about $34 per hour compared to $6 in Monterey. So we did some math, and that $28 difference on an average 40-hour week for 1,400 employees would total an estimated savings of more than $81 million per year. Rafael is covering so many aspects of Carrier's planned move to Mexico. You can watch all of our Moving to Mexico reports from Rafael as we dig for answers from Monterey. That's all on the RTV6 app.
Mr. McDonough, good morning and welcome to Indianapolis. Will you change your mind? Will you change your mind and keep the jobs?
Looking forward to a great meeting with the governor.
Sir, would you work for $3 an hour?
Looking forward to discussing with the governor the transition for our workers and getting back to business.
So I take it you would not work for $3 an hour, sir?
Call 6 Investigates demanding answers from the Carrier executive as he meets with Governor Pence, who's trying to save thousands of Hoosier jobs. We have full team coverage starting right now.
Now, the news at 6 on RTV6.
And let's get right to what we've learned tonight about Carrier after that hour-long meeting with Governor Pence and a company executive today.
Carrier confirms that about 400 high-paying jobs will remain here in Indiana. Carrier also agrees to repay job training grants and tax abatements given by the state and local governments. But Governor Pence also saying he doesn't want to give false hope. The 2 Indiana plants are still set to close. Let's get to our full team coverage tonight, and we start with Call 6 Investigates Rafael Sanchez and an exclusive interview with Governor Pence after today's meeting. Rafael?
Erica and Todd, good evening. Tonight, no peace of mind for 2,100 Indiana workers. Despite that dialogue with the governor, there was no deal on saving production jobs in Indiana.
We expressed our profound disappointment.
Governor Pence gave us insight into his 1 hour plus meeting with the top executive who oversees carriers' operations. How do you keep another company from saying, well, if they can do it, let's move with them?
Well, I'm no expert on Mexico, but I'm an expert on Indiana. And I'll tell you what, the cost of skilled labor in this country versus competitor countries around the world has been leveling off in recent years. That's why you see a lot of reshoring of manufacturing jobs that have been coming back to the United States because of the productivity of the American worker, because of our investment in technology, because of our investment in workforce education and training.
Carrier's Robert McDonough made some concessions during their talk, including the return of $382,000 in training grants and confirmed 400 research and development jobs will stay in Indiana. Still unclear the future of Indy's 1,400 workers who produce 10,000 furnaces a day on the city's west side. Their jobs are Mexico-bound, where workers will be paid about $3 an hour. McDonough would not tell us if he would be willing to work for that amount. Sir, would you work for $3 an hour?
Looking forward to discussing with the governor the transition for our workers and getting back to business.
So I take it you would not work for $3 an hour, sir? The governor says he is not worried about other companies leaving Indianapolis to pay workers $3 an hour. When Mr. McDonough was walking into your office, I asked him would he take a job for $3 an hour. He did not answer. Can we compete against countries that are paying their employees $3 an hour, whether it's Mexico or Thailand or Vietnam?
Well, one of the great things about Indiana's economy today is we do that every day. The workers in Indiana, I think, are the best in the country and the best in the world. Our productivity is second to none.
More of our exclusive one-on-one interview with the governor coming up on the news at 7. The governor also tells me that he's not signing on to Donald Trump's call that those carrier products made in Mexico get slapped with a 35% tax. Erica?
And Rafael, I have to ask you, we all remember that interview with an economic development official in Monterey talking about Indiana crying over lost jobs. I know you're asking the governor about that today.
Yeah, that interview with the Mexican official really struck a chord with many of you on social media, both on Twitter and Facebook. Now, unlike many Mexican officials in Monterey, this gentleman actually decided to talk to us. He told me that he was pro-free trade, that he was not anti-American, but that he was very candid. First, you'll hear what he had to tell me last week, and then the governor responds today.
You have two choices: sit in and cry, no, or put your energy understanding the world and understand that the most important bet to the future and to be and remain competitive is precisely talented people, knowledge, science, technology, innovation, and create new business with added value.
Your response, Governor?
Indiana doesn't need a lecture from Mexico about how to create jobs. We've got the strongest manufacturing job base of any state in the United States of America, and it's because we invest in education, we invest in infrastructure. We're the first state in America now to make career and vocational education a priority in every high school again. Our workforce development department is redesigning workforce training for the demands of the 21st century. We're smart about it. We got the greatest higher education system in the country, and obviously we got the greatest people in the country.
That was Governor Pence exclusively in his office today in the State House. By some estimates, if this plant, if the workers here, if the jobs are moved some 1,200 miles away to Monterey, the company could save as much as $10 million. We're live on the city's west side. Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
All right, thank you for your work today, Rafael. We know you'll stay on top of it.
That one is definitely my favorite. My name is Nancy Alberta McCubbin. I've been at Carrier for 13 years.
On her porch, she enjoys the chimes in concert.
I love the sound it makes.
She calls the soothing sounds the whispers of angels using the wind to make their presence known.
The angels saying everything's going to be okay.
Her musical collection helped in 2014 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The love and support from her co-workers
also got her through the chemotherapy and mastectomy.
Everybody at work still comes and checks on me, comes by, gives me a hug, and that means a lot.
Nancy is on medication for the next 5 years. Before Carrier takes her job and health insurance, she's setting up all her doctor's appointments and procedures.
I don't want to not have my medication, and I don't want the cancer to come back.
Her co-worker and bowling buddy, Julie Meadows, is also pinpointing the best time to get in all her checkups.
Get everything done. If I need any surgeries, get it done now.
Julie speaks openly about the effects from the brain tumor removed at age 15.
Brain tumor, blind in your left eye, went from 20/20 vision to can't see anything.
She must take medicine to prevent another tumor. Her daily goal is to strike a balance between caring for herself and not stressing out at work.
Losing Carrier, that ain't in it. I mean, I was in the hospital for 4 days only, so I got this. Positivity and laughter, and just look at it day by day.
And I'm still here, and I'm fighting, and I'm gonna keep fighting.
Look at that, good hit, good hit.
TJ Bray is passing on to Zane what his father taught him.
Put your hands together, like that, there you go.
His other joy, his daughter Jovi.
Give a kiss. Thank you.
We tagged along as TJ went to get dinner for the family.
As long as they're born, I've been at Carrier, and Zane always says, I want to work there, and he'll get my safety glasses or my, and he'll say, I'm going to work where Daddy works, but he won't work there.
The 31-year-old has worked at Carrier for half of his life. On his second day on the job, he asked for the night off in order to graduate from Decatur Central High School in May 2002.
I always thought I was secure and I would be able to retire there.
Working at the plant is a family tradition. In the last 14 years, 3 uncles, Wayne, Chris, and Randy, and Aunt Shirley, have retired. Combined, that's 143 years at Carrier. 2 cousins, Brad and Kip, still work there. On his way back home, TJ showed us the road that gets him to work.
I take this road twice a day. I have for my whole life. And to grow up on off Furnace Road and make furnaces. But for too long, I won't be making furnaces no more, so I won't have to. But then every time I get on this road, I'm sure now I'll think about a furnace.
He's driven to stick with Carrier until the end.
I'm home.
In the meantime, he'll focus on his labor of love, being a husband and father.
I live for them. I mean, I do everything I do is for them.
This is RTV6 News at 5.
We can't allow this to happen anymore with our countries.
President-elect Donald Trump in Indiana announcing the deal that will keep 1,100 jobs at the Indianapolis Carrier plant. Trump and Vice President-elect Mike Pence also meeting with those workers today. RTV6 working for you with full team coverage. We begin tonight with Rafael Sanchez, who's been following the Carrier job story since it began in February. Rafael?
Erica, good evening. We are inside the Union Hall, Local 1999. It is a great day for hundreds of Carrier workers. As we saw President-elect Donald Trump, he made a deal, negotiated a deal with United Technologies Corporation, which owns Carrier, to keep hundreds of jobs in Indianapolis, jobs that would have left beginning sometime next year. But I want to take you really inside of my reporter's notebook to show you those numbers and to really talk to you about what we can expect really in the days and months to come. We heard about more than 1,100 jobs saved. 730 of those jobs are union workers who right now make gas furnaces here in Indianapolis. 70 are salaried positions. The other 300 are the research and engineering jobs that were never going to leave Indianapolis per se. They were not part of the original jobs losses. So what is the real story behind all these numbers? 600. So let that soak in right now. At this point, some 600 jobs connected to the fan coil division. Those are the folks that make electric furnaces. These jobs are still slated to go to Monterrey, Mexico, layoffs beginning next year, unless, as we heard from the president-elect, the $18 million in investment that UTC plans to make in Indianapolis covers those jobs. We don't know that. We don't know if that's the case or not. The union, though, will begin negotiations here soon, and those are the jobs that they're going to be asking about, but those jobs are still at risk. Those are the numbers. That's what's happening right now here in Indianapolis. Our team coverage continues now with my colleague, Katie Hines. She is outside of the Carrier plant. Katie?
Raphael, President-elect Donald Trump told people here in Indianapolis that this is a state that has become very special to him, referencing his primary win here in Indiana back in May. And he told a room of about 150 Carrier workers that companies are not going to leave this country without consequences.
So many jobs are leaving and going to other countries, not just Mexico, many, many countries. And China is making so much of our product that we're closing up a lot of plants.
The deal includes $7 million in state tax incentives contingent on job retention, capital improvement, and performance. Trump also discussed lowering the federal corporate income tax rate from 35% to 15%, and he called most of the federal regulations nonsense. We talked with workers immediately after.
It's good to hear that, you know, the jobs are staying and that they are going to invest in the company, but it's still some things out there, some questions that need to be answered.
The man is not even actually president yet, and he's already kept jobs, and I know he's going to do more. I know he couldn't keep every job, but I know the man's going to try. I mean, you can tell he's a working class champ.
And you heard from Raphael just a few minutes ago that of the 1,400 jobs that are originally announced to be shipped to Mexico, this does not represent all of those, so several hundred will still be going. Some Democrats critical of this move, Senator Bernie Sanders tweeting out that UTEC held Donald Trump hostage and won. Back to you.
Katie, thank you. And let's bring back in Call 6 Investigates Rafael Sanchez. Rafael, we've posted the story online. Carrier Corporation preventing you from attending this Trump event today after you've been asking them some very tough questions for months on behalf of workers right here in central Indiana.
Yeah, we've been covering the story since February the 10th when the company made the announcement, and today I was quite surprised when I received an email at 7:33-ish saying that my press credential was denied to enter the Carrier plant. I did reach out to the Trump-Pence media office. They checked their records. They told me that there was nothing that they could do, that I should go ahead and reach out to Carrier. I did that via email, reaching out to the Indianapolis office as well as to the corporate office in Connecticut. Nothing came back. You know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we are committed to doing our jobs. And, you know, I guess I'm sorry, but not really, that I covered the stories of hundreds of workers who at the end of the day could not afford to live off $3 an hour. So if Carrier is upset that I went to Monterrey, that I told those stories, that I brought this to the attention of Indianapolis, I'm okay. I will sleep good tonight. If they don't want me in their building, that's fine as well. They are a private company. This is America. There are rules. I did not cross the line and get on their private facility. I will still do my job. So it's all good. We're going to still do our jobs. It's not about me. It's about the folks today that are very, very excited that they get to keep their jobs. But on the other hand, Erica, I have to be honest with you, now I'm really concerned as well for these 600 jobs that we have to talk about, those 600 Indianapolis jobs that are not so lucky, possibly. And we also have to think about the 700 jobs in Huntington that are going to go to Mexico. And we also have to think about the 350 jobs at Rexnord that are also waiting to see if President-elect Trump and VP-elect Pence will also offer those companies the same deals that those families can stay here. That's the real story, not a reporter being banned from a facility. That's okay. I'm a big boy. We'll get the job done. But I also want to point out one thing. So beyond all of that, I want to bring in Chuck Jones. Erica, can I bring in Chuck Jones real quick?
Sure.
Another question for me.
Yes, we'd love to hear from him.
Hey, Chuck, you were brought in today for the negotiations. I know you are somewhat excited, of course, that jobs are staying.
Yeah, we weren't brought in for negotiation. We were brought in for the company to update us what the agreement consisted of. We didn't hear any particulars. They informed us at that point in time 730 jobs, bargaining unit jobs, will remain in Indianapolis. The rest of them, which includes all the fan coil, will be moving to Monterrey, Mexico.
When do negotiations begin? Because we also heard that there would be no wage concessions, and those people that are receiving severances can still get the severance package.
Right. We'll sit down with them. What our intent is to try to get the senior people that so desire the right to leave and receive the severance and go their way, and we'll sit down and talk to them about that. At some point in time, a date hadn't been set yet.
Chuck Jones, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Of course, a mixed bag today. A lot of excitement today. Of course, hundreds of jobs saved in Indianapolis. The flip side, we are still asking about the other hundreds that may still be shipped to Monterrey, Mexico. We'll keep on top of this developing story. We'll keep asking questions throughout the afternoon. I'll be asking more questions of more of the folks here at the Union Hall. We'll also have worker reaction and bring you the very latest beginning at 5:30, 6, and 7, and of course on the RTV6 app. We are live on the city's west side. Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
And Rafael, before you go, we want to thank you for your hard work for 10 months on this story. We know that you will continue to pound the pavement and ask those questions and work on behalf of Hoosier workers on this story and each and every story. So thank you.